So, welcome. Hi, everyone. My name is Larit. If you've never met me, nice to meet you. I'm Larit Nifesi. I'm a personal stylist here in Vancouver, BC, and I'm happy to have everyone join us today for the first edition of the Power of Image. This wouldn't happen without any of you guys. So, thank you for signing up. Thank you for coming, and I'm sure we're going to have a good time. And I also want to say thank you to all the guests who are speaking. This was planned in a very short notice, but everyone came together. And I am so glad to have you guys do this with me. And I know that this is just the beginning of so many to come. So, without doing too much, we're going to jump right into it. But just a few housekeeping rules. Please mute your mic if you're not speaking. If you have any questions, put it in the comment section. And at the end of at the end of all the sessions, we will go over any question we have, and then we will just we'll wrap up that way. So just simple and short. Every guest will have 20 minutes to speak. So our first guest is going to be Lena, and she's going to be talking about all about color as an image consultant. So Lena, welcome, and yeah, the stage is yours.
Hi, ladies. Hi, everyone that's watching us. First, before starting and getting into my subject, I would like to thank you, Larry, for the invitation. I love the subject I'm bringing. I love all this about beauty. I have so much to learn as well. That's why I'm excited to also listen to Demi and then Z. And I will start my presentation, sharing with you my material. Just a second. Are you guys seeing my desktop? Yeah, good. Okay. So before I dive into the subject, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Lena Avancini. I am a certified image consultant. In my personal life, before anything that I do, I define myself as a woman, which means I'm a wife and also a mother. As I said, I work with image consultant, and also with style. And I'm a specialist in color analysis, which I'm gonna talk a little bit at the end of the presentation. With a psychology background, I love seeing people changing themselves by the perception when they change their self perception as well. That's one of the approaches that I use during my service because I believe so much in how we can improve ourselves by changing how we see ourselves. And then improving our self confidence, self love, so quality of life, relationships, and on. During my free time, I love organization. I kind of like try to engage in kind of like a DIY projects. I never finish one, but I try to do it. One thing I didn't mention here, which is part of my job as well, I have a secondhand store, an online secondhand store, which I'm relaunching next month. So that's also part of me. It's just because how my consultation and everything in the past brought me to this opportunity to open this store. And I love secondhand. I love the idea of pre-loved pieces. And I think we have so much to learn from this as well. The agenda for today, my goal is sharing with you a little bit of my experience in the past and then understanding how our past can shape who we are nowadays as a professional, as a woman, as an entrepreneur, and taking some values from our story and then embracing this to how we became and how we build our personal branding because it's this so much more about us, our values, how we believe, and then everything we have as a person, as an individual. The second topic I'm going to bring is the impact of clothing in our life and in the rest of us, right? What's the surrounding as well. And I'm going to wrap up with the power of wearing our colors, which I believe is a big tool to enrich this conversation. And also we can start kind of like working in our image as we go. So I would like to start with the reflection of change. When I mention the past, I would like to ask some questions for you guys that are listening to me. How did your past, how did you see your past shaping your image and how you look like today as a person? Or if you have you gone to any significant change in the past? When I mean this, I mean, a relationship change, a work, a business. You just took a business, took the chance and also the opportunity to run a business. Yeah, any significant change in the past? Have you guys gone through something that you feel that was very impactful for you? The main idea of this question is because our image follows our needs, right? Our image actually follows everything that's functional for us. So when I think about significant change, I'm talking about, for example, if I mention a little bit of my story, in 2014, when I came to BC, I had a life completely different there back in Brazil. I came from a very warm country. The culture was way more colorful. The type of jobs I had, it was a psychologist, even as a clinical counselor, and then my full-time job it was a HR. So I had so much, my need for dressing and putting my image right there was way different than the image I had to build when I came here as a student. First, because my budget, the weather of the country, a new life as a newcomer, the type of jobs I was looking for, the people I was communicating, yeah, all the diversity of professional path I took, uh, each one of them built a little bit of me, right? And I also believe this huge challenge I had in the beginning was actually the call and then how reinforced how that led into my career today as an image consultant. After taking and attending so many women's and men's as well, I can see how much our story, we have so much to bring. This is a content that is going to enrich and bring the image we're looking for today because we're in constant evolution and transformation as well. And yeah, another big change I had was in 2022 when I became a mother. I thought it was just like hard when I was an immigrant, but becoming a mother was way deeper than I was expecting, right? Because our body changed, our image changed, our needs change, everything's changing so much on us. And I'm still going through this process. So it's something so recent for me. And I can see how my image, what's next for me, is just because of the past and my story. And as I said, it is a huge invaluable content for us to embrace to be able to build something that we actually authentic and tells about us. Because as we're just having a conversation before the presentation, if you try to be somebody else, because we see so much, we scroll there every day, right? We try to kind of repeat, no, but we get influenced by people, we get references, we get inspiring. But if you think about this, how much of us are actually just taking the inspiration as a touch and not trying to be the person, right? And that's so dangerous for us and for our image, for our business, for everything that involves us. And yeah, that's one of the things I truly believe the reflecting in the past bring this to us as well. When I mentioned that our need follows our image follows our needs, I also would like to bring the idea of fashion and function, right? We need to understand that fashion follows function. Body shape, budget, commute that you go to work, if you work from home or not. So although you can love some type of pieces or image ideas, they might not apply to your reality just because they're not your style. They're not part of your routine. So be mindful as well of those ideas we want to kind of embrace and put in ourselves. I don't think it's the best way. So that's why I truly believe self-knowledge in a process of understanding ourselves to be able to express how truly we are. That's one of the things. Any questions so far? No? One good topic as well about image is understanding how the psychology of clothing can affect how we feel. So the psychological impact of clothing our image has a phenomenal actually that this included cognition from Adam and this Galintz, I don't know how to pronounce. They brought this thought, and I think that's amazing for us to think and reflect now, like daily in our lives. It has long been known how clothing affects how other people perceives us as well as how we think about ourselves. When you think about this, daily we try to dress, right? We need to dress ourselves. We don't leave the house naked, so we need to put clothes on. And clothes is a big and huge instrument and tool to express ourselves, what you think. So the psychological research has shown that clothes can actually affect our behavior, our mood, and our confidence. Here are three ways that we can see how you see ourselves in this first circle when you think about you. For example, usually when I don't wash my hair, I need to go for makeup. one or the other. You know what I mean? There is no way to do like a messy hair and dirty hair and no makeup. And then trying to, like, if I don't have a nice clothes on or some clothes that I like to wear, it's not about being nice or not being nice. But if I feel myself when I'm wearing those clothes makes way more sense for me and it feels good to whatever I'm gonna do during the day. The same, how my brain's reading, right? How my body is feeling that clothes on my body. When the blazer or the sweater just, like, embraces me, and then I truly feel like so confident just because I chose with intention, and I'm good about what about I'm wearing in that day. So the same, how we feel about ourselves, we see other people. This the part of the Freud actually, when he was studying about us, we need to understand the others. They show us how we are. That's why it's so important understanding how we feel, and others, they kind of direct us how we feel about ourselves. So these are three ways, very powerful and very deep, that we can understand that clothing, they affect how we feel about ourselves, also how other people pursue us, and then the opportunities that kind of people we're attracting as well. Does make sense so far? Yeah. So this is kind of like just a very deep subject, and I love talking about this, especially because my background in psychology. I love kind of like, dive into those things. But our focus today is understanding more practical ways that we can apply to our image, especially the need we have nowadays, right? To build a brand, or to understanding how can we use some tools to just facilitate our communication and how we show up to our business. One thing I can offer to you today as a knowledge, as understanding, is my experience as an image consultant with the colors. The reason why I decided to do colors in the past was just I was curious. I wasn't truly like, oh, it's gonna be the big deal for me, because I was so much into listening to people and doing very humanized service. But by listening, we need to understand when we're talking about image, we need some tools, we need some ideas to implement what we believe. So that's why I decided to study about colors. And I see how powerful colors can be as well. Once you learn about colors, it doesn't mean you need to wear every color that looks nice on you. It's just an option and a rich material that you can kind of like select on what works best for you or not. So, about colors, have you guys ever noticed that certain colors, they can make you look beautiful and fabulous and great instantly, but by the other hand, some colors they just do the opposite, right? For me, I have two colors that I never bought anything in red or orange. And later, when I actually came to study about the science of colors, I understood that colors is not on me. I don't have this on my blood. I don't have this in my nature. I don't have this on me. So the reason why is because when some colors are good on us is because they share the same dimensions as our beauty. Let's think about, for example, fuchsia, blues, and there is a family of colors. There is a bunch of colors that they can be actually blues. They can serve two type of skins and colors, and skin colors, and also type of complexions, just because we have a different characteristics that's going to make this color look a little bit more warm or cool. So all of this we learn when you do the color analysis. As well, one instrument that I really like to share is the color wheel. We have here so many colors, and if you think about one piece of the pizza right here, we can dive into understanding how one yellow can be a little darker, can be muted, and then we can just change depending on how we move inside or outside of the color wheel, just because we're adding colors here. Basically, the color wheel is a rainbow. We just made a circle. And if we expand here, we have way more colors than you just see in this instrument, in this tool right here. This is just to facilitate the sales and stuff, but we can learn so much from this as well. So with that being said, understanding your colors, they can bring so much value to our brand, understanding which colors you like. Not because you have a color palette means you have to wear everything like here, but you can come from this palette and kind of like choose which one represents you. For example, there is a type of green here that I really don't like for me, like this kind of green, uh, because it's not me. Although it's in my skin, I have that color on me. It's not something that I would use for my image or for my business, right? So that's why we need to, when once we learn about our colors, we can kind of like use for the benefit of us. The second thing I have here to share is how everyone we have our colors, right? And they enhance our skin tone. They can bring up some features of us. They boost our confidence because you just feel good. It's a type of self care. Once you have the knowledge and you apply that knowledge to your life, you just feel like easier to go. The same way when you're building a closet under with this tool here with the palette, we follow the principle of harmony. If harmony is repetition, I'm repeating my closet all of these colors because each color, each all these colors in this palette, they're all cool colors, right? So if I'm building a closet on this palette, I'm guaranteeing that I have the harmony in between all of these colors. So all the cool colors, they're going to follow the same characteristics. So that means they will be easier to mix and match between them, which doesn't mean we can also mix warm colors with cool colors. They also make very nice like combinations. But the main point here is understanding what's the message, what the desire I have as a person. For example, as I mentioned before, when I just started doing this, I was so excited to build my closet, and then I went to some kind of color, the blues, fuchsias, the family of purples, yellow, like kind of to be more colorful. But nowadays, going through this process of understanding myself again after becoming a mother, I'm very much into like neutrals to play safe and adding some points. For example, today I wore blue because I was feeling sick, right? And blue for me brings this energy, kind of like healthy energy. But I chose a touch of pink, which is very like is analogous combination when you think about it. It's kind of it's a harmonious, but they're not too far in the color wheel. But it brings kind of like my feminine here, also the shape, the round shape, something safe that I also like this, and it connects with my choker and then on. So as I said, the color is one piece of the game, right? And then we need to understand how we can connect the other parts of this. For example, Larry knows this like so well. I was also gonna bring this. We can think about the lines, the fabric, the finishings, the textures, the combination of colors, the styles. How can we represent, and then our life, how the fashion is gonna work for that function. Talking about personal branding, I think you can go a little like more bold in this, just because you can think more about pictures and representing ourselves in the social media world. However, I don't know how you guys feel, but I think it's very important to keep authenticity also. But also the person talking to you, the person that sees on the story sees you on the feed is the same person. And also when they kind of like closer to you, be like a service, they're gonna say, ah yeah, it's the same person. That makes sense. Because otherwise it's not sustainable, this image, right? It's not possible, it's not real. And as we learn much more about us and the tools we have, I think we can build a beautiful work from what's actually important to us, from each one of us, in our business, in our life, and then on. So, as I mentioned, when I'm doing the color analysis, I am trying to find out and understanding what the characteristics of your colors. I have here the first one I always analyze is the temperature, which means I want to see if your skin is more towards the warm tones or cool tones. And here I brought some ideas and some clothing just for us to see. One color, it doesn't have only one characteristic. The color can be warm, but also could be dark. And then we just understanding how that plays in the main picture. For here, I'm gonna focus on whatever is warm. Okay, that's the goal right for this presentation. So the more yellow added to a color, warmer it becomes. Warm colors are associated with warmth, energy, nature, and heat. There are so many more adjectives you can add in here. Also, one very important fact is understanding the meaning of the color, the psychology of color may vary depending on the culture. This is one thing you need to understand. Probably in Larry's culture, they have bringing like colors with a different meaning. Then for me, maybe they would, you know what I mean, like mix and match colors. So The second aspect of temperature is the more blue I added to a color, cooler it becomes. So, as I said, the blues can be warm and also cool, but always depending on how much I'm putting in each, how much I'm actually mixing, right? Like matching and adding the color in the color nature. So the more blue you add to a color, cooler it becomes, and then the cool colors, the cool tones, they're associated with calmness, nurturing, soothing, and stability. There's so much more than we can add here. But as I said, just bring some ideas to kind of like you guys to refer and to relate to yourself and your business, what's important to you, and also personality, right? Because we need to think about this as well. Intensity of colors. Intensity has so much to do on the nature of the colors and how pure the color is. For example, those very shiny colors, which is very rare to see in Vancouver. If you see like a few brands that would bring this, and I believe it's just because I also heard people in Vancouver they don't know how to dress, kind of like they make this like this funny thing. I see actually a huge possibility for four of us, and then how we see how can help people, and yeah, just by understanding a little bit how people can feel more beautiful, feel more energized about the colors. And as I said, it doesn't have to be a lot, right? It can be a touch in the lipstick, your nails, on like in the rings, or maybe on you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be the whole colorful outfit because it depends on how you feel, right? How bold are you? And then that's all we need to work on more specific with the person. Yeah, the intensity of the colors, as I said, more pure is a color, brighter it becomes. Brighter colors are associated with energy, creativity, vitality, confidence, boldness, happiness. For example, more formal is an environment to work, less colors probably this professional will wear, right? When you think about a woman that's working with engineering environment or lawyers environment, that's more masculine environment, we need to play with some more sober colors, like a darker colors, more sober ways, and also lines. Everything just kind of like adapt to that environment. Does it make sense? Okay. Intensity, still talking about intensity, as I said, we have the bright colors and we have the muted colors. So more gray I added to a color, kind of, I would say boring, but not boring, but I mean like it's muted, right? It's kind of like soft and calm. This message brings sophistication, elegance, calmness, professionalism, seriousness, and comfort. We can play, as I said, with so many different like ways, but all we always start with the frame of the person, what this person is desiring. And almost wrapping up here, we have the depth of the colors, which is amazing because black has its space, right? Black is great, but you need to understand the finishings because not always black is the best choice for everyone. And black doesn't match with everything, right? Black sometimes doesn't go nice, for example, with red. We need to understand if they actually are working together in which concept we're in them. So the more black is added to a color, darker it becomes. Dark colors are associated to authority, power, elegance, formality, sophistication, mystery, and instability. One great color we can use, which is like cousin of the black, is the navy. By the way, we have so many different neutrals that are not only black, white, and gray. You can think about burgundies, the family of greens, mustard, browns. That is so like, I think there's a list of 5 or 6 different neutrals that we can explore and combine with colorful colors to make a very nice combination and a strong image as well. Um, and the other part of the depth, we're talking about lighter colors. When I add white to the color, lighter it becomes. And we think about the beiges, the whites. Whites, we have 200 shades of whites. Whites can be grayish, kind of like sand color, ivory, and then on, we can understand this as well. The more white is added, lighter the color becomes, and lighter colors that have the meaning of approachability, simplicity, calmness, serenity, youthness, and freshness. So how can we find our colors? There are different ways. The methodology I use is the one that I consider your contrast, which is the difference between hair, eyes, and eyebrows and skin. And after I try to find those 3 characteristics that I just mentioned as a temperature, brightness and the depth of your skin complexion. Also think about, as I mentioned, hair, skin, blah blah. I'm just considering colors that actually we wear on this part here, right? On our like t-shirt, blazer and stuff for the beginning for this analysis. And which is also important because a lot of people work from home, do courses, videos, we just show this area of us as well. That's why it's so important makeup, right? How can we just is one of the most important, I would say, right? Because no one cares about the colors of my shoes, but you're looking to my mouth, you're looking to my lips, you're seeing what color I'm wearing on my lips. So yeah, when I'm finding your colors, I'm analyzing your contrast, the temperature of your skin, the brightness and the depth. And as I said before, I'm looking for harmony, the principle of harmony. I'm looking for colors that are actually repeating on this complex, repeating on you. If I'm finding something's repeating, that means you have those colors on you. Harmony guarantees beauty, right? Harmony is repetition. If you want to go to the opposite of harmony, it's totally fine. It's up to your desire. What's your desirable image and business idea? What do you want to impact? But that's the principle. We don't break principles, right? We understand the principle and we understand how we play, how we can work with those elements, and as I mentioned as well. After finding your colors, um, as I was repeating, and I brought here earlier as well, we think about appearance, right? When you think about our business nowadays, what's the most challenging thing for you? I can maybe speak for myself, but I would like to hear you as well. And if you don't have a chance to speak, but at least reflect on this and make a notes because this is very important. And we need to think about the A, B, C, D of our image. As A is appearance and how I look and present myself. The B is a behavior. I'm thinking about actions, my conduct, my values, how I'm just communicating verbally or unverbally what I believe, right? And how I interact with others. Communication, how I convey my ideas effectively, how I can actually show myself. If I don't have a chance to speak, what my clothes are talking about me, what a picture is talking about me, right? And the digital presence is how I represent myself in a digital space. Ideally, when thinking about branding, and this is an ongoing work, we need to kind of like embrace and put it all together to make a very smooth communication. That's the ideal for all of us as professionals, entrepreneurs as well. So another question for you to reflect on is how satisfied are you about the way you are using or putting your ABCD together? Is very confident or feel okay, um, you'd like maybe to learn a little bit more. So there are so many different ways we can start with this, but reflecting, I think, is the best way first, right? Because once we admit something that we need help, and then we're gonna seek for help. So I'm here to help with this part of this is part of my job as well. So I do the code analysis as one of the ways. Some people just sometimes look for more professional. Some people just are curious about the colors they want to. It depends. It depends. We don't know how it's going to resonate to each person, to each woman, because we have our stories and then we have our relationship with colors as well. Brings us memories from who was dressing us when we were kids, right? My mom would say for me to wear only purple. It actually had a client like this because the mom didn't want the lady or the girl to get dirty, right? And now being a mom, I love beige, but when I put Stella on beige, it's annoying because I need to be changing her because I want to keep her clean, being nice. But you know what I mean? Her relationship with colors and dressing and her self image is already being built from what I'm translating and passing to her because it's so much more than we can understand and maybe be aware of. How deep is how the other person's voice is telling me how I dress myself, how I look like myself. Yeah, that's all I have to share. And I think I have way more to say, but like with the time we have, I would love to open for questions as well. And I'm offering today, as I was putting the 20% of discount for each person that want to maybe get the code analysis. That's my offer to serve you. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me and I would love to answer and contribute. Here's my Instagram, the MH image, and has this, how is that dash, right? Dash. And then I'll also have my email. Okay. Thank you so much. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lena. That was so good. We've had a few people join late, so if you have any questions as the session goes, please just put in the comment section, and then once we're done, we would have everyone's question answered. So yeah, but we would have Dami um, come up next.
Hi everyone. Hi everyone joining us as well. I'm just gonna quickly share my screen and get all set up here. Um, okay. Okay. So by way of introduction, my name is Dami. And I'm gonna be speaking on the beauty of showing up as yourself, as your best self, and tie it to into our our main theme of discussion here, which is the power of image. Um, yeah. So first things, I'd like to introduce myself. Like I said, I'm Dami, a makeup and beauty specialist based in Vancouver, BC. Um, I have about 8+ years of experience as a bridal makeup artist and more recently a semi-permanent beauty specialist as well. So I'm talking about semi-permanent brow procedures and lash extensions. Um, yeah, I offer those services to clients at my home studio based in Surrey. And I also travel to clients as well to for mobile service. So I'm very passionate about helping people enhance their beauty. Um, sorry, I'm just gonna, sorry. Um, the screen I'm presenting from just like left here. So I'm just gonna stop sharing and then share again. Sorry about that. Okay, I think we're back here. Okay. So showing up as your best self. What does it mean to show up as your best self? Um, in my definition, I'll say showing up as your best self is showing up as is presenting yourself in the most authentic, unique, and prepared way as possible in wherever setting you are. Um, and yes, you can use makeup as a tool for, showing up as your best self. And how this ties back to the power of image is the power of image is your ability to show people who you truly are, right? So you can use makeup as a tool to do this, right? And so in this discussion today, I'm going to be touching on two major aspects, which are um, okay, I'm not sure what's going on with my slides, but please bear with me. I'm going to share on two major pillars, which is, first of all, we're going to be demystifying makeup myths. There's a lot of makeup myths out there. We're just going to be touching on a few of them and trying to unlearn the negatives that's been surrounding makeup or you doing your makeup. And then we're going to also relearn and, we'll touch on embracing authenticity through makeup. Uh, Next slide. Okay, I think my system may be freezing up, but okay. So diving quickly into it, demystifying makeup myths. First makeup myth I would say here is you hear people say, oh, makeup hides who you are, makeup is just for covering flaws, which is a big fat lie. Makeup doesn't hide who you are, or makeup doesn't have to hide who you are. In fact, I would say makeup accentuates flaws even more. So how you should approach makeup is to first find out what your best features are. It starts with understanding yourself, understanding your facial structure, understanding just you as a person and how you want to project yourself. and then using makeup as a tool to enhance those facial features, right? Your best features. The next myth here also is you need there's a lot of saying that you need a lot of makeup, you need to apply a lot of makeup to look good or to look beautiful, or like you have to do all the steps. You have like there's I think this social media or media generally has overcomplicated what makeup really is or what makeup should be. So I'm here to also get you to um unlearn the concept that makeup has to be complicated. It doesn't have to be. It's like I said, it's all about finding what works for you, finding your best features and accent like elevating that using makeup, right? Then the third one I hear also is wearing makeup means you're inauthentic, which is a big lie as well. For me, I believe makeup is art in whatever way you want to look at it. Makeup is art, and you applying makeup is expressing your artistic side, expressing your creativity, right? So makeup doesn't make you inauthentic. In fact, it makes it expresses who you truly are, your creative side, right? How creative can you get with makeup with enhancing, your facial features with makeup, right? Um, Next. Okay, so now that I mean, there's still a lot of like myths out there. You hear a lot of things about like negative things about surrounding makeup. But I hope I've been able to demystify a few of them and make you, unlearn those negatives. I feel like most of the ideologies, maybe just going back to that previous slide, most of the ideologies that we have around makeup may have been formed from like our background or like the society we grew up in, the community we grew up in, or they might have been filled with from a lot of like mediums, but as we've all like grown and as we've all like evolved, I want us to embrace the positive sides of makeup. And when I talk about how like your background may have informed the negative aspect, I'm talking from like I don't know how other cultures may like growing up in other cultures may have been, but an example is growing up in the Nigerian space. um like our parents never allowed us to wear makeup, which I mean, which growing up makes total sense. Like, as I mean, it's not age appropriate at that age to, to start applying makeup because it's very easy to, fall into the cycle of or into the mentality that you have to wear makeup to look good, right? At that age, you're susceptible to, a lot of things that that may make you grow up using makeup in a negative light. But what I'm trying to say here is that that's understandable, but because we came from that background, I feel like everywhere most of us have just grown up with that, and it has just shaped our orientation that makeup is one thing you should never wear or you should not wear if you want to be true to yourself, or makeup is something that you should not wear because it's almost like you're masking yourself. No, it doesn't have to be. As we've all grown up in other areas of our lives, as we've grown up to evolve, I think our ideologies around makeup also should evolve as well. Like it should be more introspective. Like, why do I want to wear makeup? Now that I know that makeup is not about hiding flaws, because that's a big lie. First of all, makeup actually, whatever flaw you think you have, I think makeup would even show it out even more. So um now that you're getting to hear that makeup is a way of expressing yourself, expressing your creativity, enhancing your features, I want us to approach it with like an open mindset, to know that, yeah, I can choose to, you know use makeup as a tool to I mean, for to empower myself to show up as my best self, right? Um, yeah, so moving on, how do we embrace authenticity through makeup? First of all, I think you should begin to understand that makeup is a form of self-care. Just like you go to like the nail salon to unwind, you get a pedicure, get a fresh set of manicure. Um, that's similar to, taking some time out, going to do your makeup, getting up in the morning. I feel like getting a very simple routine that you do every day, it sets your mind, straight, and like gives you, like, empowers you to face your day in a way, right? So I think makeup is a form of self-care and it's a form of self-expression. You should look at it that way. You should approach it that way, and you should align your makeup to what you want it to be, on like to how you want yourself to be projected to other people, right? Um then another thing I would like to also say in this process of embracing authenticity is that you should embrace your personal style over trends. There is a lot of trends out there. Social media preaches a lot of things. Oh, you have to do this to look like this. You have to do this. You have to do that. I don't think you necessarily have to follow all those trends. Like, makeup is ever revolving. There's one new thing or the other every other day. But I feel like you need to find what works for you. Just like in fashion, I mean, it's not all the clothes that Zara makes, or like all the clothes that like you find in the stores that would suit you, like suit your physique. Like, just like Lena touched on colors, most of the time it's not all colors that work for you, right? Same thing with makeup. Like, you need to take some time, find out what works for you as a person. Um, rather than trying to do everything that you see, right? So yeah, the first point down there says take some time to discover what works best for you and is sustainable. Um, I think a lot of people get overwhelmed with the concept of like doing their makeup because they feel like, oh, they have to do this to look like this, or do like 10 steps to look like that. No, I feel like we need to take time. Most people that dismiss makeup these days, they've not actually taken time to understand what works for them, or understand their style, or understand first of all their facial features, right? What your facial structure is like, what your best features on your face is like, and how you can, elevate that. Right. So we need to take time, and you need to understand that we're not trying to like get the best makeup, or like be the best or whatever, or look perfect or anything. Take your time, discover yourself, discover your facial features, what works best for you, what your best features are that you can elevate, right? And then just, stick to that. Stick to a simple routine that can be, sustainable, right? That you can repeat over time. Then I also mentioned there that makeup is not about looking perfect, but feeling good and genuine. And yeah, like, I'm a makeup artist, right? So I get a lot of clients come in and show me like an inspiration picture, or they want to look like this. And I tell them, yeah, I can take a few elements from what you show me, like, oh, okay, you probably like the color of the lip, or like how the eyeshadow is or something, but it won't totally like be like you, because you, like, everybody is different, everybody's face is different, everybody's facial features are different. Everybody, like, we all have what's parts of our face that like stands out, and things like that. So it's my job as a makeup artist, and it's also your job as the person that has the face, to understand, the what your features are and what works best with your features, right? So yeah, see makeup as a choice to enhance your beauty and not hide it. We're not trying to hide makeup here, hide our flaws here. No, we're using it to enhance our beauty. Yeah. Um, Okay, I also just wanted to chip in a few like tips and tricks here and there that we can use in creating a classy look. You don't have to like for especially for an everyday look and like a simple look that you want to achieve, anytime you want to show up as your best self, you don't need to do too much. There's something called less is more. There's a concept called less is more. Like emphasizing the right things can just elevate your entire look, right? So first thing I mentioned there is take care of your skin. Like I feel like this has to be emphasized the most here because um makeup starts with your skincare routine. If your skin is not on point, if your skin is not on 100, your makeup is gonna come out like messy. That's why I said in the beginning, like makeup is gonna is like makeup is not gonna hide the flaws that you have. It's actually going to exaggerate it, if you get what I mean, right? So the skin on which you put makeup has to be good, very good first before you now put, makeup on top. A lot of people, complain, oh, my makeup, I don't like to wear makeup because it feels heavy, or I can't wear it all throughout the day because it just gets cakey, when I apply powder it feels heavy, that kind of thing. I feel like most of the times there's two reasons. First of all, it could be your application technique is all wrong. I mean, more than two reasons actually. Like your application technique may be totally wrong. You may be using the wrong products for your skin type, and you need to have like like an understanding of your skin type, like a skin analysis basically. You understand your skin type, your undertone, your shade, all of that before, and not just slapping on anything, right? And then one major thing that could also be causing your makeup to, shift or be cakey or whatever it is your skincare routine. Do you have a good skincare routine? Like I feel like at this point, um like skincare routine cannot be overemphasized. You need a good skincare routine. It doesn't have to be complicated. Like I said, like social media pushes a lot of like you have to have a 7-step, 10-step routine. No, you just have to have a simple basic routine that you stick to. Like the key here is consistency, right? That something you find something that works for you, and you stick to it, right? So once you find a a skin routine that works for you and addresses whatever flaws or skincare concerns you have, then putting on makeup will not be too much of a hassle or like an issue, right? Then next thing is set the right expectations. Like we've been talking about up until this point, we've unlearned the ideologies that makeup is supposed to hide your flaws. No, set the right expectations. You know now that makeup is supposed to highlight your best features and accentuate whatever is on your skin already, right? So once you have those expectations, you know that you're not trying to look like Kim Kardashian, or you're not trying to look like the Photoshop image that you see on social media, right? um yeah, so I was also going to chip in some tips and tricks there. The first tip I'm putting there is using a blurring primer for texture. And I'm talking about texture. I'm touching on texture because this is a common subject in the makeup space. And I hear a lot of clients come to me, even in 2024, like the other day, like someone was telling me, oh, I need you to do my makeup. So I don't want, like, I have pimples. I need you to cover my pimples. Unfortunately, makeup cannot cover texture. Well, like if you're trying to do a classy look, a simple, natural, classy look, makeup is not going to cover that texture, right? Makeup can cover like acne scars or like dark spots from acne scars, but the pimples, acne itself, makeup is not going to cover that. That you have to, probably see a dermatologist to take care of your skin care concerns, or find a skincare routine that works for you. But texture is completely normal, right? Even if it's not pimples, like a lot of us have like textured skin, right? I feel like it's completely normal. And you don't have to, I mean, why people see it as abnormal or like strange is because you see a lot of photos online that are absolutely Photoshop. Like everywhere is Photoshop. Like you won't see any texture on a Photoshopped image. And so because you constantly feed on this, you feel like, okay, this is how you need to look. No, a normal regular human being will have some texture on their skin and it's absolutely fine, right? So one thing you can use to just tone it down a bit is to use a blurring primer just to blur out that texture a bit. But again, setting your expectation, right? Makeup does not cover texture. And then also use lightweight complexion products. You don't have to use like a full-on foundation, like a full coverage foundation. You can go with a very soft sheen or like a light coverage foundation, like a BB cream or a CC cream, right? It doesn't have to be like all caked on, right? So for a natural finish, you only need like a light coverage foundation, and you can even totally skip the foundation step if you feel like if your skin is really good, right? You may totally just skip that foundation step, to be honest. Yeah, I'm open to sharing more tips and specific tips and tricks to anyone on this call that may be needing that. You can always reach out to me on Instagram. My handle is Sarah. I would probably drop it in chat because I didn't include it in this presentation slides. Um, Also, the last section there, enhance your best features. So I feel if you're looking to go for a simple, minimalist, effortless, look, I feel like these three things can elevate your look without doing too much. Having nicely groomed brows, right? And and thankfully nowadays we have more like longer lasting solutions to our brows, so you don't have to always draw, because I know people find it difficult to always draw their brows or like to fill in their brows every day. Now you can go for procedures like brow lamination. You can do like microblading, ombre or powdered brows. And that would instantly elevate your you know your sorry, I'm just looking into the question chat here to make sure I'm not uh you know missing anything. Okay, so back to the brows, right? Making sure your brows are well groomed can just elevate your entire look already. Like brows define the face in such an amazing way. So making sure like the brows are groomed, you can always reach out to me if you're looking to book a brow procedure, like a longer lasting brow procedure that doesn't that would that will reduce your daily uh makeup routine, or the time you spend doing your makeup, right? The other thing you can do is to give yourself a facelift is to fix your lashes, right? But I also know that people struggle with fixing falsies. So a good pair of mascara will work really good to just, find something that works for you, probably a waterproof one as well, to just give your lashes that lift that it needs. And then there are also longer lasting procedures you can do these days. You can do like a lash extensions. I offer lash extension services. And you can also, if you know about putting extensions, you can also do a lash lift and keratin treatment procedure where you get a lift of your natural lash, right? Yes, and also getting your fave lip products, be it a lip gloss, lipstick. I feel like doing these three things and maybe adding a lightweight foundation or BB cream just elevates your look completely. So you don't have to do, oh, okay, conceal here, color correct here, contour, highlight, all those things. You can keep it minimal and simple. In fact, these three things, if you're going on a vacation, the way you prepare for your vacation and maybe get fresh set of nails or manicure, I feel like if you do these three things, you may not need to pack a whole lot, or you may not even need to pack your makeup at all for vacation, right? Make sure your brows are on point. make sure you have your lashes on point, and then you go with your lip gloss, or lip product, your best lip products. I feel like you're good to go. For me, I've decided that if I'm going on any vacation, these are the three things I make sure that on point. If in on my vacation or whatever trip I go on, I need to, attend a function or go to a wedding, or I actually want to get like a full face glam done, then I'll be booking a makeup artist in whatever city I'm at, right? But as far as packing up makeup or packing all the things you need, or packing makeup things on a vacation, I think I'm no longer going to be doing that personally. So yeah, I see some questions. This is my last slide actually. But I see some questions for me in the comments. I don't know if I should take it now or like later on, once all the once all the speakers have had their sessions. Larry,
Yeah, I think let's do it after. There are a few
okay.
questions for you
Yeah,
actually, but
yeah.
thank you so much. You said a lot of things. Thank you, Dami. That was actually really good. Even just talking about a traditional, like Nigerian home, I think I came
Yeah,
from that where you're not allowed to wear makeup, and
yeah.
I've never heard anyone say, "Find your best features." I never knew that was a thing. So I know that that's probably my takeaway from today. That I need to think about my best features
Yeah.
and then find makeup. So thank you so much. Now we would have Zanel of Z, and then yeah.
Okay, give me 1 second. Let me pull up my slides. She's okay, here we go. Da, 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 da. Okay, perfect. Okay, is that working? Is anything happening at all?
Yes, we can see your
I see your
screen.
screen.
I'm telling you, this is driving me up the wall. Okay, I want to try to expand it, but I have no idea what is happening here. Okay, give me 1 second. See what's happening. Oh, okay, Phil. Okay, perfect. Then close the window. Oh, okay. Something totally happened here. Give me 1 second. I don't know what's happening with my browser. It just keeps on asking me to restart it. Like every time I'm trying to connect to Zoom, it just asks me like to restart the whole thing. Okay, so let's do present. Let's do that. Okay. Share screen. Okay, how's that now? Okay, we good? Alrighty, perfect. Okay. Yeah, it's so good to be here. Thank you, Larit, for putting this together. We are going to be talking about a subject that I am completely obsessed and very passionate about. I feel like it doesn't matter what industry you're working in, it doesn't matter what business you have, it doesn't matter what brand you're building. We are all creatives. Like we are all creatives in some way, some form or shape. We're all creatives. My name is Z, and I'm the owner of In Good Cause Socials. It's so funny because how I ended up here, kind of reflecting on everything, it's been a long and winding road. I knew I was some sort of a creative, I want to say 10 years ago, but I just did not know how I was going to get to where we are now. But like I said, through trial, error, bumps, and all that, finally, we have arrived. We are going to be talking about creatives in our space. Just a little brief more intro about me. I'm passionate about creating and specializing short form content with a little bit of creative flair in it. My mission is to bring unique let me just do this. Okay, perfect. So my mission is to bring out unique sparks in every project, crafting content that reflects the magic within the brand and the creativity in all of us. That is my mission. The goal of this presentation for everybody who is attending today is I want to empower you to think like art directors, like creative directors for your brand, for your business, for the content that you're going to be putting out there. For example, if you're planning a brand shoot or creating content, consider one unique concept. Just consider one little thing that's going to make everything different. That's going to make you stand out. It could be the place where you're having your photo shoot. It could be the photographer you're choosing for your brand shoot. It could be the concept that your brand shoot is all encompassed on. The goal of this presentation is to hopefully teach us why our brand or businesses should avoid the copy paste strategies that we see all the time, which just means copying other people's ideas without adding our own little magic to it. By all means, we can draw inspiration from other people, from other brand, but I do feel like it's very important to add your own unique touch instead of focusing. Focus on what makes you special as a brand or a business. When you show off what's unique about you, it helps your audience connect with the real magic of you, your brand, and what you do. Something that nobody on this planet Earth will offer because there can only be one you, right? The power of creative direction for your brand. Risks of these copy paste strategies that I mentioned in our previous slide. So when we use generic ideas, we are almost running the risk of diluting our own brand voice. We're making it harder for our audience to understand what we're all about and what we do and what we stand for. Using generic ideas also gives us you have missed connections. I truly believe that in every single one of us there is your tribe out there. There are people that are looking for you. There are people that are looking for your services. There are people that are looking for your brand. There are people that are looking for you as the type of business owner that you are. So by just standing out and being authentic in your creativity, in your brand, you are a magnet to those people that are out there and are looking for you. If a brand looks and sounds like everyone else, we blend in. We blend in into the crowd and we get lost in the shuffle and we just become, like just a scroll on someone else's feed. In contrast, content that reflects on the brand authentic story and value can create a meaningful connection. It increases loyalty, and one of my very favorite, it can foster a community. I would rather have 200 people in a room that genuinely want to follow me, that genuinely want to learn from me, that genuinely want to hear my story, than to have 10,000 of people that don't even know who I am, what I do, but they're just there. So fostering is like that community building is definitely one thing that is drawn with the kind of authentic creativity that you are, creator that you are when you show up. The pitfalls of those copying paste trends. This is a little something that I put together because the first thing you do right now when you're planning, let's say a content day or you're planning a brand shoot, you're probably going to go on Pinterest and you're going to type photo shoot ideas. I guarantee you 99% of the time, this is what's coming there. This is what you're going to see. You're going to see papers on the floor. You're going to see papers on the wall. You're going to see that coming soon thing. This thing, it is driving me up the wall because I see it everywhere. You're probably going to see, like, when it comes to like social media, you're probably going to see feeds like these ones, like these like really nice aesthetic feeds, right? And let me tell you, it's so hard, it's so easy to just follow the masses. It's very, very easy to just be like, okay, this is what's on Pinterest, this is what everyone's doing, this is what I'm going to do. Think of fashion. There has been a big shift towards people dressing for themselves these days, rather than just following trends. Sure, you can go and buy something that's trending right now. I recently ordered a pair of those like leopard prints pants, jeans, because everyone is wearing them. And I was like, you know what? I love them. But people dress for themselves. And ultimately, your wardrobe reflects on who you are. Something that my stylist told me, Lyrit. So that's what happens. People do things for themselves now. Think about that when you're showing up for your brand. Show up for yourself, for your brand. And when you show up for yourself and for your brand, the people that are supposed to follow you will come to you. Gen Zs are the perfect examples. They are experts on jumping on trends. They're even very good at creating them. But by the time us millennials catch on what's happening with the Gen Zs, they probably have moved on to the next things. Trying to keep up can feel like an endless roller coaster of chasing what's popular. Instead of following trends, I strongly suggest you focus on building a creative style that's unique to your brand, gives you a lasting appeal and a very clear identity. A well-defined creative style helps your brand stand out and resonates with an audience longer, even after all those dancing trends are long gone. Next we are going to be talking about, oh, something's happened. It's stuck. Oh, there we go. Oh, no, back it up a little bit. Oh, this is the one. Yes. Adding the magic of you. I had so much fun creating this little slide. I wear it very often with some clients that I've been working with. But I'm not a creative. How are you not a creative? I was talking to an accountant friend of mine, and she was the same thing. She's like, but I am not a creative. I'm like, girl, you are creative. You're creative with numbers, or maybe not that kind of creative, because that can be that can be interpreted into something else. But you are creative. Think of an accountant. An accountant is creative with numbers. Think of a hairstylist. They're creative with hair. Think of makeup artists like Dami. They're creators. Faces, you were talking about face features, things that work for your features. That's artistry on its own. That's creativity on its own. And photographers, they're creative with capturing people and moments. Creativity shows up in every profession, and it's all about how you are going to express that creativity, right? This slides correlates with the slide that's going to be next. Like, if you would guess this whole board that I came together, it's something that I've been piecing together as I am talking to different clients that are coming on my way, and trying to spark that little creativity in their brands. I was working on some clients, and so this is like a case study from strategies that I have been working on. If you look at all these images, you would try to guess what these people do, or where we can apply this kind of creativity. And the next slide is going to be talking about the places where we can connect this creativity from. And you probably would have never guessed that, okay, I can actually do that is that. So the next slide is this. My accountant friend, this is one of the things that I showed her. I was like, you know what, we could even do some sort of a nostalgic photo shoot where we put you in an office, the first image. We put you in an office right here. We have all the things that you use for your business, and we can capture that. That makes you, it's very nostalgic, but it's very on brand. And when we think about, like being in an office setting, we're all going on this train where we're going back to our older selves. So this was a pitch for her that this could be very nostalgic. You are in the office. It still represents that you're an accountant, but we're eating a little bit of flair onto the whole pitch. This is a hairstylist. I absolutely love this photo. It's very Audrey Hepburn. So this is something that we're working on a direction with a stylist who's doing a photo shoot recently. This is something for a photographer. You can add a little bit of, like, it feels like it's very unrelated, but it's very related, if I'm making any sense at all. This was something that we pulled together for someone who does hair extensions. So this is a hair extension artist. This one also looks at
Sorry, Z, I don't think we're seeing your slides. I thought it was just me.
oh, can you see
Yeah,
it?
sorry about that.
Can you see it now?
No, I think it's frozen.
Okay, your screen sharing is paused. Yep, that's what it's saying. Okay, let me try it again. Share.
Okay, sorry to cut you.
Oh, no worries, it's all good. How about now? This is what I hate.
I think I can see it now, but I think you may need to enlarge to make it the full screen version.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's happening here. Clearly I am not as tech savvy as I thought I was. How about now? No? Honestly, it's giving me a notification that my screen is paused.
I think it's frozen again, but that's fine. Maybe you can just continue. Yeah. Hopefully there'll be a recording, so I'll check and maybe it captures it. It's just getting
Okay.
yeah.
It's still frozen. And how about now? Okay, your screen is sharing. Any difference at all?
Yes, we can see now.
I will just try that maybe. Okay, any change at all? And now?
Yes, it's good. You can continue.
Okay. Yeah, so these are some of the infusions that you could put when, let's say it comes to like content or it comes to branding. You can definitely add a little bit of creativity in everything that you do. This was an example of my own photo shoot that I did a couple of weeks back, not a couple of weeks back, but so this was something that I had come up with. I wanted something that really represents my personality. I wanted something that really, I always feel like I make the best connections in person. And I wish we of course we make connections on our socials and everything, but I wish I had the chance of meeting people that I actually are online and I actually had the opportunity to meet them, because I always do feel like I make the best connections in person. This is what this shoot was really based on. I wanted to showcase my personality. I wanted that feeling to come across on screen as much as it can. So these are some of the things that you could include when you want to do a content shoot or a photo shoot for yourself. Infusing your brand with originality. So originality and authenticity are definitely the key to connections. That every brand or business has a unique story or value or personality, and weaving these elements into their creative strategy makes their content unforgettable. So your story, your values, your personality, we put it all together. That is the magic. That's the key ingredients to a great creative strategy. Reflective thinking, this is one of my very personal favorite. I like to think within. I like to always reflect on a lot of things that I do as a business owner or as a brand owner. So think about one thing that makes that makes your brand stand out. This could be a value, a story, or a specific skill, and consider how we can bring its life to create creatively. So especially skills, if you have like a specific skills, um, hone in on that. Focus your creativity on that. My homework for you guys today would be maybe to take the time to define your brand's unique fingerprint. Here's are some of the things that you can do if you haven't already done so. You can write down your brand's mission and value. Most of us, we have already identified our target audience. If we haven't, that would be a really good place to start. Brainstorm visuals, especially visuals. We know everything is all about video, photo. We've all become in this era where visual is where it's at. So brainstorm on visual or messaging elements that represents these value authentically. Experiment with personal content. I always tell this to my clients that we have to try different things. I encourage you to move beyond your limitations and try to create original visuals, storytelling posts, or even just behind the scene content that will reflect on your personality as a brand owner, as a business owner. And please take this with you: empowerment over perfection. Creativity is a process. It really is. There is no need to aim for perfection. Taking small, meaningful steps towards originality can get us better results over time. So it is a process. And I know sometimes we want the perfect video, we want the perfect angle, we want the perfect visuals, the perfect edits. But creativity is definitely a process and it takes time. The most important thing is taking those small little steps on a daily basis to make sure that we're getting to where we want to get. How can I help you? My role as your creative partner is to collaborate and uncover what amplifies your unique identity as a brand. I do creative direction, and this kind of just helps brands, clients come up with concept for content that reflects their values and their goals. I also do brand planning, brand shoot planning. I assist with mood boards, the visual strategies, the executions of the photos and video shots tailored to the specific brand or business. And I also do content strategy development. This creates engaging, authentic content that aligns with your brand and your essence. I'm also doing some workshops and consultation, offering one-on-one or group sessions to guide brands through identifying their creative strategy. If you definitely want to know more about what I do and how I can help, please feel free to reach out to me on my Instagram, and we can definitely talk more on what else you can do to infuse that creativity in your brand and your business on a daily basis. That is all for me.
Thank you so much, Z. Yeah, I'm a strong advocate of the fact that everyone is a creative person, and I feel like it's a topic I can talk about for hours. But thank you, because you did it better than I would have. But thank you so much. That was actually really good. Yeah, thank you. So I will share. I feel like now I'm very nervous because everyone has said so much good things, and I don't know what I'm going to say. I'm joking, but yeah, let me just share my screen here. Can you guys see my screen? Okay, you can see my screen? Sorry. Let me know. Okay, let me just, sorry, this is, okay, let me do this. Okay, so, as I said, if you don't know me, I am Larit. Oh, shit, okay. Okay, sorry, yeah. If you don't know me, I am Larit. Nice to meet everyone. Thank you so much for coming and thank you for being part of this. A little bit about myself. I'm a personal stylist. I have a very big passion for helping women who are in leadership, like entrepreneurs or like in their profession, to be able to help them embrace their unique style and just be themselves. And I think that just comes from a place that I know that leadership or people who have to put themselves out there is not an easy thing to do. And, being able to just show up and be true to yourself is a really good thing. And yeah, it's the best thing you can do for yourself. So I think that's truly where that comes from. And yeah, I do this through events, personal brand shoots, and then personal styling, which can look like day-to-day wardrobes, or like, yeah, if you have any like brand shoots like for your media, events, talks, things that you want to do, like that's it. And then for events is also like if you have, yeah, I think it's all the same thing. Sorry about mixing up myself, but yeah, so let's just jump into this. So I want to talk about 3 tips. I'm just going to focus on 3 tips to help you curate, like to help you reflect yourself through your personal brand. And the first thing I want to talk about is you. I've fallen into that trap whereby I wanted to come online and just, show myself as a stylist, but not really show my personality or show what I could do or like reflect myself. I just wanted people to just see, oh yeah, she can style people and that's it. But then that's actually not true because in this day and age, especially, people want to be able to connect to the other person behind the screen, right? So your personal brand starts with you, and it starts with you because people are following your vision. People are not following the brand for what the brand has to offer. They're following the vision. And as a leader, like we're all leaders of our lives, like people would follow you and follow your values and follow what you have to give. So your personal brand starts with you. And I want to use an example here. Sydney Carter. I don't know if anyone knows her, but she's a popular basketball coach in the US. And she's a perfect example for like your personal brand starts with you because when you think about a coach, for example, you would think of someone who is going to be wearing like tracksuits or just wearing sneakers or cargo pants, big shirts and yeah, that's what you think of as a coach. But this lady is a coach, but you can see that she's choosing to show that there's a feminine side to her. And I feel like nowadays, society, there's so many labels that we have put. If you are a certain kind of person, like maybe an accountant, or if you are a doctor, you have to, or you're an athlete, you have to be dressed in a certain way, or you have to come up showing yourself in a certain way. But like for Sydney, for example, she's a coach. I have never seen anybody wear heels as a coach to the court, but this lady does it. And that's because that is who she is. And it's interesting that just being herself, she actually loved people. I found her not because she was a coach, I found her because of her style. Like she's just being herself, and which is she's showing that yes, I can coach basketball, but this is also I'm a feminine person, right? And I want to reflect my femininity through that. And I think it's just a beautiful thing. So when you're thinking about like how you want to dress up, how you want to show up for yourself, think about you. What works for you is truly the best thing that you can do. And so let's go. So how do you focus on you? Understand who you are. I'm very big on understanding who you are because just like Dami said, when it comes to like analyzing your facial features, it's the same with fashion. Like know your body, like understanding who you are, know your body. One thing I always tell my clients and I tell people is that there's no woman that I know that is not conscious about how she looks. That's something that is very common among all of us women. We want to know how we look. We're worried, okay, whether we're slim, whether we're bigger size, whether we're tall, whether we're short. It's just that's how we are. And it's important to understand who you are. And something that I started doing or I do with my clients is that I tell people look at the mirror and tell me what are your best features. Like highlight what you see about yourself. And I know that can be tricky because people are usually, oh my God, I might fall into body shaming or will I not like how I look or I'm scared, all of those things. But I learned that the hard way and I know the benefit of doing it. And personal experience for me, understanding who I am was when I was in high school, I went through a lot of body shaming at a very young age. And they would compare me, like I'll have people compare me with my friends because I was very, very small, like I was very petite. And so they would compare me with my friends. And so as a result of that, I think I was just stuck knowing all the things that I didn't have or I had. And from that place, I had to like unlearn the fact that, I had gone through that. And that was actually what, so even though that was not a good thing that happened, but that's actually what made me realize, oh, this is how my body is and this is what I have. And then I have carried it and I have made it become a positive thing whereby it's actually good for us to understand who we are and what we have. So for example, do I have do I have small shoulders? Do I have a large hips? Do I have, broad shoulders? Am I slim by my waist? Am I not? Things like this. Understanding those things is not to make you feel bad about yourself, it's to help you, which is my next point, know what you like and what you want to show. For example, there are people who are like were not the tallest, and because you know that you have like a slimmer down lower body, you would want to wear clothes that have like high slits, because you want to be able to flaunt your legs, you want to be able to show, that side of you, or you want to wear clothes that have slits to make you look a bit slimmer on the taller side. So understanding who you are helps you to be able to identify what you like. I have people who know tell me they have broad shoulders and they don't want to wear sleeveless because they just feel like it makes them look too much. So what are things that they can wear, that could make them have like a balanced image of their body and actually just embrace who they are. So those are the little things, with focusing on yourself. It's not about, dwelling on what you don't have or who has better. It's honestly about you knowing yourself and knowing what works for you. That's the best thing that any of us can do for ourselves, because that way when we show up for ourselves, we're not just wearing things that we see people wearing, or we're just wearing things just to portray an image that we're not. We're actually wearing things that reflect us, and we are even more confident because we know that's who we are, right? And there's no shame in it. And also, yeah, so the next point is brand identity, knowing what your brand is about. Yes, your brand is about you, but also what is your brand about? What are you trying to show through this space? What are you trying to show every time you show up? Every time you show up, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to connect with people? As you connect with people, what are you trying to show? And the person I want to use here is Sarah Jakes. And believe strongly that for Sarah Jakes, her story and where she's at now is truly a beautiful way of how she has just used her brand, to connect with her audience and to meet people. So if you know anything about Sarah Jakes, she's a pastor, she's in ministry, she's also a best-selling author. I believe she's also she has businesses that she's doing with her husband. And for everything that Sarah does, and she's a public speaker, she shows up looking really good. She has a stylist, so fair enough. She works with a stylist, Jay Bolin, and he puts all these creative ideas for her. This first one, she was launching a book, the one in yellow. She was launching a new book, which was called Power Moves. And the book was actually yellow, so they decided to infuse that into a look, and that's it there. I think the one in gray as well, similar, and the one in white, she was just going to preach, if I'm not mistaken. But she decided to, she has taken her image so serious, or like her brand and everything that she is going for. She shows up, even though she's a ministry. If you're familiar with anything about Christianity, this sounds like she's doing too much, or is she really following God? Why is she doing all of these things and being a pastor? But it's something that she wants to use to be able to show other women that they can also look good for themselves and they can also serve God, which is actually true. Like there's no place that says that because you can't serve God, right? You can't look good. So how did she add this element to her brand of like connecting with her audience through the way she shows up for herself, using her clothes and the colors that she pulls in? Her audience. Her audience, focusing on her audience, that's number one. Women who have a rough past like her. So, a brief context about Sarah Jakes. She was a teenage mom at age 13. She had her first son, her first child, and then she got married at a very young age. And I think, I'm not sure what age, had a divorce, left, and then she now met her husband had a child in that marriage, and then met her husband, who she's currently been with for 10 years. And then they got married, and they have like a blended family now. And so it has taken her so much years to be where she is, and she knows that the brand that she's putting out there, or her showing up every day in this different spaces of influence, is people who have rough passes, like rough past like her, are the people who will connect with her, are the people who she wants to be able to target and she wants to be able to reach. People who are giving up on life, or they're trying to just go through similar things, breaking through patterns, are the people who connect with her. And so the problem that she's probably identified, and probably that's what she has experienced too, is like the doubt, the discouraged. Can anything come out of my life? How do I build my life up again? How do I fight? How do I imagine or envision myself to be on stages doing all these great things, things like that. And so the solution that she's giving them is that she's connecting with them, and through her showing up, looking her best in every look, putting that attention to like detail of like dressing up nicely, wearing bold colors, just expressing who she is. It gives someone else that is in that situation hope that, oh my God, if this person can actually build the person that can actually show up and be looking this good despite everything they've gone through, like I can also, like life can happen to me, so we could actually use clothes to connect with people. And so, for example, if you are a teacher, how can I show up that my students can resonate with me, and through the things I wear they can feel like, oh, this is a teacher I can connect with. It might seem like it's a little tool, but like we're using that, it might look like something little, but we're using that as a tool, to also like draw the people and the spaces that we're in, like to just connect with people. So many times for myself, like I go out just wearing something, or like wearing a bold color, it actually starts a conversation, and that way someone can be like, oh, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I'm a personal stylist. Oh, that makes so much sense. And then it starts. That person could become something, or I could work with that person down the road, right? You never know. So like paying attention to these little things can really, really help us to be able to like just show ourselves. And then lastly, functionality. And for functionality is just a big thing of I always tell people that I know that everyone wants to look good. As I said, as women, we all want to look good. We want to look nice. That is guaranteed. But always remember and draw the fine line that there's one thing to look good, and there's another thing to know that you're not in the fashion industry. In the sense that the fashion industry, right now we are in November, they're already thinking of trends for 2025 fall or 2026 winter. Do you get? So it's like it's never ending. There are all these rules and things of, oh, what you should wear this kind of things, this is what is trending in fall. This is what, like all those things. I mean, they're good technically, but like it's not realistic. We're all people with responsibilities. We have things to do. Yeah, we have things to do. We have bills to pay, and we can't constantly be buying clothes every other day. So every time I tell my clients, like, invest in pieces that you can see in your wardrobe and you can wear every day before buying something. How does, sorry, yeah, before I jump to that, like invest in pieces that can achieve your everyday goal. Like, as I use the example of a teacher, what is going to help you every day to show up as yourself and show up that you can connect with people in your industry, but also just be functional to you? What is going to help you achieve that goal every day? Focus on those things and just keep it there. There's truly nothing wrong with repeating clothes. And I really want to stress there's truly nothing wrong. We have fallen into a trap that for everything that we have to do, we have to always go shop. And that's where we end up buying so many things that do not fit. We buy so many things, and then we have a large wardrobe, nothing to wear. I'm sure, I don't know how many of you, but you can testify. Every single day I have nothing to wear. But then you open your closet and you have a full wardrobe with clothes, and it's like, I have nothing to wear. We've all been there, and it's just because of like maybe the choices that we made. We saw something, it was just probably cheap, or everybody's wearing this thing. Let me just pick it up. Let me just get it. But then after a while, you realize that's not really you. That's not your style. Things like that. And so, how do you invest in functional pieces? Um, purchase items that will pair with other items you own. That's basically what I was saying. Like, focus on getting items that you know that when you buy them, they would work. Like, if I buy this skirt, or if I'm about to buy this skirt, how is this skirt going to pair with this blazer? How many times can I wear? Like, think about what you already have and think of how these things are going to actually fit. I've worked with someone where I went into the wardrobe and she had, it was the most interesting thing. And even her herself, at some point she started laughing and she was telling me that she hopes I'm not judging her. And I'm like, no, I'm not judging you. Like, we're walking through this together. But it was very interesting because that's when it actually dawned on me. Like, she had blazers in different colors, like maybe black, then she had like bright red, then she had like a beige skirt, like different things, and then different types, similar fabrics or different kind of fabrics, one in tulle, one in leather. And when you ask, oh, how did you get this? Oh, I just entered the store and it looked nice to me and I picked it. Oh, how did you get this? Oh, someone gave it to me and I just took it. And I'm like, cool, that's nice. But like, can you see that now that's actually where the problem is? Like, you have all these things. They are nice, they're beautiful, they're in nice colors, but they don't go together. These colors are clashing. Like, they don't go together, they're clashing. The types of fabric you have are not even pairing with each other. So that is why you just end up wearing like maybe Lululemon pants or like just simple like jeans and top, and that's not what you want. And so even like thinking about accessories, thinking about shoes, thinking about like, yeah, like your accessories, like belt, your earrings, thinking about shoes, your blazers, your jeans, your top. Like, think about things that at every given point that you want to wear clothes, they would be able to go through together. And this makes, for someone who does not enjoy, looking for clothes or doesn't even have time, it makes styling yourself very easy because every day you know that when you walk into your wardrobe, you can be able to pick this and pick this and it will go. I always say that it's better for you to start with simple pieces that you can put together and get creative along the line than to get creative at the beginning and then now want to go back and start looking for simple pieces. Because if you want to get creative from the beginning, like, oh, but it's nice to add a pop of color, like then you go buy bright pink, you would be confusing yourself. But when you know and you master the art of knowing what works for you and is functional every day of your life, then it's easier to be able to add those nice trends here and there. And when you add those things, you just see that everything blends and it works. So yeah, so that's really just what I wanted to focus on. There's so much that I could cover and I could talk on um in this section, but we are already we're way out of our time. Okay, not that much, and we have questions. So yeah, um I'm just gonna open up the questions. Let me stop sharing. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to open up the questions and let's see. Okay, maybe I'll start with a question for me and then Dami, maybe you can answer. I think Z had to leave, so I don't think we can do the questions for Z. And I don't know if Lena can answer any question, but we'll just do that and then we'll wrap up. Okay. So I have a question here. As a healthcare professional and an academic dressing up is a lot of work as I have to always think of functionality. How do I ensure my outfits can be functional and stylish, not buying new things? Take into consideration I get lazy with my dressing. Okay, so as a healthcare professional, so that's a very good question. I would say that what's your day to day like? Are you constantly standing? Are you constantly in the office? Are you constantly sitting? And and then do you want to, what's in my head, like for example, you talk to students, do you want to wear blazers or do you want to get like nice blouses and t-shirts? Like, what are you comfortable with and you want to lean towards? So for example, a simple outfit can be like blazer, t-shirt, just a pair of jeans and flats. You have not done a lot there. All you've just done is that maybe the choice of blazer that you've bought and the shoes that you're using are already good shoes. Like, there's something called elevated looks, like pieces are already elevated or elevated pieces. So instead of buying like a plain white shirt, for example, if you go for a white shirt that has like a flowery detail or has like buttons to just elevate it and make it look nice. That way, you don't have to think about adding too many things. You just pick this white shirt because it already has details on it that make it really nice and look good. Maybe elevated sleeves too. You wear a simple jean, and then for shoe choice, you can, instead of sneakers, you can go for like, okay, maybe nice loafers. Nowadays, I'm always recommending Mary Janes to people, or like, because I feel like they're really good and stylish and you don't have to do too much. So you just wear like a simple Mary Jane flat or pumps in whatever like heel or size that you wear, and you just have a simple look. So I would lean towards elevated pieces, like pieces that already have details to make styling easy for you. That way you don't always have to buy, but then maybe you just invest in quality pieces that you know that you can wear them multiple times and they can handle wear and tear, and you don't have to do too much. So I don't know if that answers the question, but if you want us to talk more on that, yeah, we could talk maybe off, but just off my head, that's kind of like how I'll answer it. So let me know if that was, sounds good. Okay. And then, so for Dami, you have, there were quite a few questions. Yeah, one question here. Are there any harmful substances in makeup products that I should be mindful of when choosing the right product?
Um, so I would say you need to, like, whatever makeup products you're trying to get, try to research the ingredients. You would have an ingredients list. You will have the ingredients list. So yes, there are some ingredients that, you know, can be harmful to you. Um, Research each of the ingredients and make sure, and one other thing to know is that the ingredient may not actually be harmful, but maybe your skin type or the skin condition you have doesn't suit it, like doesn't work well with it. So you need to know that as well. You need to know what skin type you have, what skin conditions you have, and if those ingredients are like would contribute to even making it worse, or will help in a way to um alleviate that. But I know a lot of skincare brands these I mean makeup brands these days are veering to more like skin friendly properties or skin friendly ingredients in their in their products. So yes, be watchful, you know, by all means check out the ingredients list and make sure it works for you. And please discontinue anything that like breaks you out like on first use or anything. Like if like if that's it also goes back to knowing your skin.
Yeah.
Um if you introduce anything that just takes it off, please just discontinue it as soon as possible. Also, there's the issue of expiring makeup. um, a lot of people don't know that makeup expires. Makeup does expire. Some of the items you would see an expiry date, but some of the items you will see a best before or used by um not a date now. So it's usually in form of it's like a container symbol, and then they put like either 6 months or 12
Mhm.
months on it. So you need to figure out, and basically what that means is that you need to use up that product within 6 months. If not, it's not gonna be ideal or good for you or your skin, right? So you need to make sure that you're using up that product within that time frame from when you get it. Um, you know. So yeah, those are some things to take note of. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, just to add, so sorry to ask more deeper, like, are there specific things to be mindful of, or to your point of know your skin, like every skin is different, so you need to know your skin to know what would affect your skin.
Yeah, I don't think there, like in my experience, I've not found anything that I would say that, oh, okay. I mean, to be honest, like people say silicone, you should stay away from silicone or anything, but the truth is that silicone works for some skin types,
Yeah.
right? And so I think it's more of an individual thing. So know your skin type, know your skin conditions, and know what works best for it.
Okay. And then I think we'll ask one more question because I know that we're way over time and people have to
Yeah.
go. Yeah. What is the best BB cream for black skin? Like what brand would you recommend?
So for BB cream, there is there's a brand on Sephora called It Cosmetics. It's actually a CC cream, so it has color correcting properties. Because a lot of black skin people suffer from hyperpigmentation. So I think using a CC cream to color correct would work well. Which is also is a very lightweight formula, that you can just uh use that you can replace with like instead of using a foundation, use that, right? So that one is called It Cosmetics. There's also one from Charlotte Tilbury. It's not specifically tagged a BB cream, but it can be used as that. They call it a faux filter um product. It's not a foundation. It's something you put on you can wear it under your foundation just to give like an extra glow, or you can wear it alone on its own just to give your skin a more revived glow look to it. So yeah, those two I would recommend. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, so thank you everyone. There's going to be a replay. We've had a few people had have to leave, and also a few people couldn't join because of timing. But thank you everyone who signed up, and thank you for being a part of this. Thank you so much, Dami. Thank you, Lena, Z as well, and I would say
Thanks
thanks
for
to
having
myself.
us.
But yeah, but thank you so much, everyone. And the replay will be available for a few hours. More details will be sent for that. And if you have any question, please do not hesitate to send, and I will share with all our guests. And as a result of starting this, there's also going to be more information that I'll be sharing because I would be starting a community for women who called Elevating Every Day, and that will be just a space that we can share tips and tricks, yeah, tips and things that we can use to help ourselves look our best. So more to come on that. All of that will be sent via email. But thank you so much to everyone who signed up and came on board the first edition of the Power of Image. I'm really grateful for all of you because this day wouldn't be without you. So thank you, and I look forward to connecting more with you guys. Bye.